When I was growing up, going to Grandma's house was always a huge treat. It meant we got to go rollerblading in the basement, make a mess and not clean it up, watch old musicals Grandpa taped on TV, eat freshly fried chips, and of course, bake apple crisp. Apple crisp was my grandma's specialty, and judging by how much we loved it and how often we went over there pretty much just to get it, she acquired quite a few opportunities to perfect it. And I think September was probably the best month to go visit Grandma, because it often meant a trip to the orchard was part of the tradition. Now, apple picking with my family was one of my first true connections with my food, and was really an adventure in itself. I remember staring up at the sky through the branches at these orbs the size of my head. All of the biggest and brightest apples were at the top where I couldn't reach, so we'd have to get hoisted into the air and reach with our little arms to grab them. There were a lot of eating breaks in the course of our day, which really stretched out the whole experience. It's nice you get a really good one, and you didn't want to put it in a bag in case, God forbid, it would get lost and end up in someone else's lunch, so yeah, there was a lot of sampling going on. Eventually, with full bags and bellies, we'd all pile into the car and make our way to Grandma's house. And I remember the pride I felt standing outside Grandma's front door with an overflowing bag of personally selected gems. I picked these apples for Grandma, and I knew the reward was going to be great. Now, Grandma used to let us get as involved in the kitchen as possible. I'd stand up on this booster seat and she'd screw an apple onto the old rotary peeler, and I'd watch as the peels would flow down like pretty little red ribbons. I was the only one that actually liked eating the peels, of course, so that was my little sous chef treat. Once peeled and sliced, she'd let us toss them in as much cinnamon sugar as we wanted, and then on went the crumbly topping, and after what seemed like a lifetime in the oven, it would emerge out golden and toasty brown. Now, my grandma's no longer with us, but the memory of hand-selecting those ingredients and making and eating that apple crisp with her remains with me. If I close my eyes, I can still taste all those autumnal flavors. The apples were tender and perfumed with the scent of comfort, coated so completely in caramelized sugar that created this chewy texture between my teeth. The topping was crumbly and crunchy and supple and satisfyingly sweet. I used to try to mimic what Grandma did, but have since given up the pursuit. Yes, I know Grandma's recipe contained apples and oats and cinnamon and sugar and butter, and I probably have a good idea of the amounts, but Grandma's apple crisp was also baked with an enormous amount of a very specific love that I've never been able to duplicate. I might revisit my mission one day when I have grandkids of my own, but until then, I'm simply happy to relish in my memory of Grandma and our irreplaceable connection through food. So thanks for joining me for today's gastronomic adventure. Be sure to check back regularly for upcoming episodes of Abbey's Kitchen, where nothing says lovin' like selling from the oven.